Good morning, folks. Happy Sunday. You'll be seeing this on Monday. I am at Fort Island Trail Park today, and we are going to do another run with me. I have the GoPro with me today, so I hope you can see. I would have almost already been finished with my run. I have this mounted on the dash here. However, I wanted to capture a run with you today. You know I like doing this when we're at a new location. And so I looked this up. This apparently is a very popular trail to run in. I think I'm going to see some marsh, I'm going to see some coastline, I'm going to see some swamp. And so I thought, hey, let me bring you folks along. So I had to wait until it broke daylight. Breaks daylight today at 7:10. So it's 7:05. We're going to head in and park. And I'm going to talk to you today. We're going to run about 8 miles, I believe. So let's go. We're parked up, 68 degrees here. This is the only beach in the Crystal River, Homosassa Springs area. Consulted my good friend Chat for a run suggestion, and he said, why don't you just head out to Fort Island Trail and do an out and back. And I said, hey, you know what? Sounds like a good idea. And since we have so many new subscribers on the channel over the last several days, I thought maybe this is the best time to kind of do a run with me, get to know me type of deal. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm showing you, I'm on the Gulf side, guys. Bear with me. I am an Atlantic Ocean fan. The birds are up. It's about 7:15 now. Just getting stretched out. But that's what you got. You got a big lake on the Gulf side. Typically do not care for that, but we decided to make this little Florida journey our first stop on the west coast. Not sure where we're going from that point forward, but let's get started. I'll stop boring you with that. But there you go, nice little sunrise sorta this morning. There's a little better sunrise off in the distance. So I am on the trail road. I'm actually on the road for an out and back. I drove all the way to the end of the island, peninsula, I'm not exactly sure, and parked. So again, it's gonna be flat, it's gonna be straight. So that's what we're doing this morning. Okay, so Michael here. Again, getting to know me. If you're new to the channel or you're a fan of random outdoor runs on Saturdays and Sundays, I have music going. Tom Petty playing this morning. Appropriate. Fellow Florida boy. Love to run. The story there is I grew up fat kid on allergy shots, had asthma bad, and that certainly helped fuel the weight gain. Played sports from the time I was 5 years old. Whatever reason, when I turned 16, that all just kind of melted away. The inhalers went away, the shots went away. Fell in love with fitness, but not running. God, I hated running. Hated running so much. But what I ended up doing was kind of injuring. I had a, if you look at a medical text, it's called compartment syndrome. So I had a little bit of a pec muscle that had rolled into the joint right where the upper arm, collarbone come together. So anyway, I was out, didn't know what I was gonna do. Had a buddy that was running and decided to sign up for a race thinking, well, at least this will hold me to it to run. If I get in, I got in. That was the Chicago Marathon. I went from not really running at all to having to train for a marathon. Anyway, fell in love with running ever since then and thoroughly enjoy it still to this day. I'll nerd out about shoes, I'll nerd out about technology. When it comes to running, I've got an Apple Ultra watch on that I use to track all the runs because I need music. I don't need music, I guess. I am very content running with my own thoughts, but I like to break it up with an audiobook or with music. Look at all this swamp. Look at this. Light breeze. I hope you can hear me okay. Hope the noise isn't too terribly tough on this GoPro. Show you the other side. Just cruising. Just cruising. Nothing more than mileage today. That's another thing, as I've gotten older, don't particularly care so much about speed. So we're just heading along north Fort Island Trail Road. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This right here is tough to beat. Just rolled up on 1 mile. Long and straight road. This is my comfort. This is my therapy. I come out to run, to heal. Let's see, what else? Originally from Kentucky. Interests. I feel like this is a dating game to submit the video for eligible ladies. I like to tell people the 4 R's, not the 3, like my dad used to tell me when he was school age. Running, reading. I don't know if I had to pick one, if they said tomorrow you have to drop one. Really don't know which I would be able to give up. Rock climbing. Love to rock climb. The other one didn't start with an R. Riding. I enjoy riding. Those are the biggies. What's great is that the love of travel can include all 4 of those. I love that. Ooh, Dancing in the Dark. Bruce Springsteen just came on. There you go. You think there's gators in that little lagoon? I think there might be gators in that little lagoon. Wow. Yeah. Wait. I gotta stop. There's a moored stingray. There's a moored ray right here. Look at this, guys. Oh no. Oh no. I don't think I can put him back in. No, he's dead. Oh, well, that's horrible. Kind of wish I hadn't caught that on camera. Can you see that? Look at this. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I gotta get back on the road. Gotta start my run back. Okay, so Julie and I, how did we meet? That's my next topic of conversation. So, told you I was from Kentucky, school, Kentucky, and got out of healthcare in the same state. When I was deciding to switch careers, ended up in North Carolina because I had to start going into the office every day. Moved about an hour outside of Charlotte, and it was a small town. I grew up in a small town. I preferred getting out of that small town to go to college. So I took it as it was. There were goods, there were bads. But that meant I had to cast a very wide net on the interwebs to try to find someone to date. Let me go over here and show you. It looks like the savannah in Colombia, if you guys have seen those videos. And I had to cast it 100 miles to capture Charlotte's offerings. And Julie was on there. So we ended up connecting. She told me she swiped on accident because she saw where it said I was from, but I said I was new to the area, and she's like, yeah, that's the excuse everyone gives. So I didn't believe it. She's like, I don't know why I swiped right. But she did. We talked for several months. She would not see me before New Year's Day 2018. We started talking months before that, but she wanted to have one more hurrah. And so we ended up meeting the day after. I had flown back in to Charlotte, and she actually met me at the airport and showed me around Charlotte. And that's been it ever since. We've only ever been a few days without one another. We have taken trips alone, and when I say alone, I mean with other friends, but not without each other. But yes, other than that, it was kismet. I'd never been this bold before. So like I said, I'd talked to her for weeks, walked up to her, hugged her, and immediately kissed her on the lips. I have no idea where that came from, because that is not typically me to be that bold, especially to be respectful. I don't know what made me do it, but I did it. Ooh, 2 miles. Hang on. Okay, yeah, we're just a little under 9 minutes. So that's the story of us in brief. That's how we met, and so thankful for it. All right, this is going to be about the only incline I'll see today, but we are going to be covering some water. I don't think this is technically a causeway, but we do cross water. So, I met Julie when I was turning 38. Can't be thankful enough for her. She and I have been through so much good, so much bad together, that I can truthfully say there's nobody else I would want to share this crazy life with and share these experiences with. So we lived in Charlotte for several years. Pandemic happened. We decided we wanted a radical change. So we took a road trip, which we've talked to you about here, to Florida in 2020. And that ultimately helped us make the decision to move there. We ended up in Melbourne, Indian Harbor Beach specifically. Kept popping up on these top 10 lists. I'll pan the camera, let you see that water. We're there for almost 3 years, and we started the digital nomad lifestyle, beginning with Colombia, South America. I'm going to pan this way. And we've not turned back. We just keep going from place to place to check it out. All right, 3 miles. If you can believe it, I just made the halfway mark turn. 4 miles, 8 minutes, 48 seconds per mile. Def Leppard on the watch. I was getting ready to say jukebox. On the watch. What else is there? What else do we need to know? I don't know. We love Florida. I love Florida. I've loved everywhere that we've lived. but I love Florida a lot. Julie and I love the water. We love natural Florida. We love old Florida. I love all the palms, all the sawgrass. I won't belabor that, but we know that the digital nomad isn't for everyone, and it won't be for us forever. Some water over there. But right now, we are just enjoying ourselves. However, we are trialing spots. So this 3 weeks in Florida, there's a reason for that. Sorry about that noise. We want to try 3 places we've never lived. See what they have to offer. Which is why we forced ourselves to the West Coast. And have had a ton of fun. That's the one thing. If you watched our Italy video, or the lack thereof, you see having the right partner and communicating well are the keys to this. There's no way to do this successfully without that, unless you're doing solo, which I can't speak to that. So for us, we're having a great time right now. All right, I'm gonna bear down. I'll see you again in just a minute when I think of something else to talk about that I think you might be interested in knowing. Okay, I had to pop in. I'm actually rolling up on mile 6, but Steve Miller Band, Abracadabra, is on, so I thought, why not introduce you to our little pup Abra. She's not named after the song, she's actually named after 2 characters that I love in literature. One was a John Steinbeck novel where Abra was a main character. One was I don't even want to say his name right now, Stephen King novel where Abra was, and she was right on Halloween. So we decided, after playing with a few names, we landed on Abra. Is that interesting? Well, I'm not sure. Rolling up on 7 miles, kind of getting out of breath, so I didn't want to bore you. This video is probably getting too long. Anyway, the Cars Magic is playing, which I think is appropriate this morning. My music tastes, by the way, are all over the place. I could be listening to classical, to Motorhead, to Nirvana, to the Cars, 1980s. I love it all. I think the last thing I want to talk about is the channel development and how we became a channel. I had zero interest in becoming a channel. I didn't really do a whole lot of YouTube. Say hello to me and hello to you. Julie is a YouTube fanatic. That's her entertainment. That's where she goes to get educated. That's where she goes to get the bulk of her information. And she always wanted to do something, she thought, on topics that would help people. We played around with it for quite a while, but if you haven't seen our videos from the cruise, it was a little over 3 years ago we took our first cruise. I took my first cruise. What is that off in the distance back there? That's something, right? We decided to give it a go. Made a bunch of notes and landed on carnivore content initially and said, hey, we're actually having neat adventures. Why not shift and just do adventures? And her goal the whole time was to just make some friends. We were lonely in the part of Florida we were living. We weren't meeting the right people to make long-term friendships. She thought this would be a way to put her personality out there. And it's really been history ever since. This does not look like Florida, does it? I love it. I love it. And so I can't remember when our channel turns, or has turned 3. I think it's turned 3 a few weeks ago. I said, sure, I'll play along. And now I've really enjoyed making videos. And that's where we are today. No goal, except to have fun. And to show people what's out there, in case someone else never has the opportunity to see what we are fortunate enough to see. All right, that's enough of that. I've got a little over a mile left. I'm going to see you on the other side. Try to finish this strong. All right, just finished. Whew. It's 8:34. Whew. Kenny Loggins, danger zone. That's how we ended the run today. It's hot. It's hot now. Look at this. I could wring this out so you can see, maybe. It's upside down, I know. But it's just an out and back 8 miles, 8.07 miles because of the turn. I went just past 4-mile mark. Gained only 203 feet of elevation. Cadence was on 173. That's awesome. Any time that I can get between 72, 74 is a good day. And these are old shoes. New pairs coming in today. I'll probably mention that on tomorrow's vlog. But I'm switching brands, switching style, switching it up quite a bit. So I need to catch a breath. Give me a second. Well, that's about it for me. Whew. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was very low key, but again, I thought, hey, if we're going to do kind of a get to know me or a Q&A, then why don't I take you on something I love to do the best rather than just sit in front of a camera. So I'm going to get cooled down and get back to the house. Thank you for joining me. I love having company to talk to on the run, even if it is virtual. I think I'll end it with my favorite thing at the moment. Julie actually got me this. If you haven't seen the cruise videos, and I'm not going to go ask you to watch anything on the channel, you can absolutely do whatever you want. But if you had not seen the cruise videos, we were in Cozumel, and all of my loves into one kind of came to this piece that I'm wearing around my neck. It is a shard of a galleon from a shipwreck, so it's a piece of treasure. The shipwreck, I think it was 1623, the Atocha, Spanish shipwreck off the coast of the Florida Keys. And my chip, because it was there were various prices, various size coins, some complete circular galleons, but I picked this one because this one actually has the stamp of the Atocha and the year 1621. So fascinated by that. Julie said, I'm getting that for you. It's inlaid in gold. And I've got it around a leather rope. Absolutely love it. Have not taken it off, literally, except for yesterday's vlog because I was putting on a wetsuit. I have not taken it off since I acquired it in Cozumel. So I'm going to end that there today, bringing all of my love of Mesoamerican culture, Florida, and the run. Thank you guys. I hope you're having a terrific day whenever you're watching this. I hope you had a great Sunday. I certainly have started mine off greatly. I'll see you again in another video tomorrow, more than likely. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.